Hello, this is Angelia with today's wisdom. Today's wisdom comes from Daily Hindu Wisdom. Waste not food, waste not water, waste not fire. Fire and water exist to serve the self. Those who realize the self within the heart stand firm, grow rich, gather a family around them, and receive the love of all. And that's from Taittiriya, Upanishad. And, that's some good advice, waste not, want not. Our grandparents, preached that. Our parents' generation, not so much. In fact, my in-laws think, something where you just throw it away and get more. And I don't like that theory of, things, because to me, like I say, I don't have anything that doesn't mean something to me. So, to say, if it wears out, just go get more. I mean, there's things you can't replace. There's things that have, sentimental value that belong to this person or that. And if it gets broken, you can't replace it. You could go buy a similar thing, but that's not the same thing. It was belonging to this person, and that's why it means something. But there are people who just, they don't care. They don't eat their food. They throw things away, and that is wasteful. I do my best to conserve as much as I can. My joke around my house is that I save all this stuff for leftovers, and then we never end up eating the leftovers. And that's sometimes true, because my in-laws also used to eat a lot of gross old food, and my mother-in-law used to scrape mold off the top of food and try and serve it to people, and I'd be like, don't eat that. But, that wasn't a thing in my house growing up, or any of the houses that I was in growing up. You didn't do that. You might have leftovers a second time, and that's it. And my rule is, 3 days, it's out. Like baseball. We eat one day, and the next day we might have some, and then the next day we might have a little, and then it's gone. I'm not eating something that's going to make me sick. I'm not going to serve anything to anybody that might make them sick. So, and again, water. There's people who leave the faucets running, walk out of the room, or leave the hose turned on. That was something that went over going on at my in-laws' house. Just walk off and leave the hose turned on. It's like, I understand we do live next to a river. We're lucky in that way. And that's where our water comes from. So, yeah, we probably could not run it down and out. We did have a pretty good drought here one year where the water was kind of bad. And they were telling people, buy bottled water or boil your water. And the water got fishy. I mean, it almost smelled kind of fishy. So, that's also a good thing. Is like if I'm washing dishes, I'll turn the water on. I'll wash whatever, and then I turn the water off while I'm washing it. And then when I'm ready to rinse it, I'll turn it back on, because I have some wooden bowls that you have to wash by hand. You can't put those in the dishwasher. And then, like in the bathroom, like when I'm washing my face in the morning, I will turn the water off while I'm washing the face, and then, turn it back on. So, those are just things that can help, conserve water and things. And again, I keep our heat and air regulated. I look at the temperature at every third hour. That way, we don't get too hot or too cold, because either one is bad for my heart, and my arthritis. Mostly the cold for the arthritis and the heat for the heart and lungs. So, I try to make sure I'm not wasting energy. And in this, when they talk about the self, that means the higher power that we're all connected to. We are all part of the higher power. I call it God. They call it the self. Same thing, really. And when you realize in your heart that you are a part of everything and everyone, that makes you more likely to be respectful of everything and everyone. And that's kind of gone out of vogue in this country. Like I say, in my grandparents' generation, most of them, they're certainly not all of them, that was a thing, to be respectful. That's not something that's taught. Like I say, nowadays, You got, as my son's generation calls them, Karens and Kevins running around being disrespectful to everybody. I have my way. Okay, then you're a jerk, and no one's gonna like you but other Karens and Kevins, and if that's how you want it, that's fine, but don't expect other people to be okay with that. And again, stand up for what you believe in, and give it the test, where, is it good? Is it thoughtful? Is it loving? Is it decent? Because if it's not, then something you probably shouldn't be doing or believing in. We can't help if we grow rich, but we can make an effort. That's why I say at the end of every video, if you want to help me out even more, go to my Patreon page and become a patron, because, I am teaching here to teach people things so they can learn things. And if people appreciate what I'm doing for them, they could certainly, donate a little something to me, Yeah, that would be nice. Gather a family around you, I've got my chosen family, and I've got some of my biological family that, I associate with. There are elements that I don't associate with because they haven't been exactly super nice to me. And I'm a nice person. You can ask, a lot of people. I'm probably one of the nicer persons you're ever going to meet, because I do try to love everyone and be compassionate and understanding. Now, having said that, I'm not going to let people steamroll over me. There comes a point where I'm just like, you know what? No, you're too much of an aggravation in my life, and I'm cutting that out. As anybody has a garden, grows any vines or orchard trees or anything, you prune the dead wood, because why waste the energy sending something to there when it's dead? And receive the love of all. We're not going to all receive the love of all here in a real life. But, it's a good idea is if you are a good person and, you're being thoughtful of others, loving and decent, then people are going to like you better. The quickest way, to have people dislike you is if you're bad, ignorant, hateful, indecent person, then they're going to hate you. So, that's just a little common sense there. That is some good advice. Think about it. Please like and share this wisdom so we can spread it around the world. If you want to help me out, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to help me out even more, go to my Patreon page and become a patron. Thanks for watching. That's all for now. Until next time.